My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. We've been doing this show for about 6 months, and we've had some really good weeks. And honestly, pretty much every single week we win money. Pretty much every single week. I can't think the last time we lost money. It's been a very long time. This week was record-setting. We are up like 35 units or something absurd like that. I don't think you realize how tremendous that is. So I'm going to walk through how we did last night. Spoiler, we're up insane, stupid money. I'll hit the bets. I'll hit the monkey knife fights. I'll hit the DraftKings. And then we'll talk about some fights. And then we will see who won our free DraftKings league and wins our giveaway. Do me a favor. The amount of success we had last night, share this video. Share it. There's no reason the world shouldn't know how well we did last night. So let me walk through. I'm going to start with Jacob because he was on fire last night. He hit Pat Sabatini money line, 2 units. Chikadze, even money, 1 unit. Pat Sabatini wins inside the distance, plus 325, 1 unit. Then he did round submissions across the board. Round 1, plus 1,400, 1 unit. Hit that. He missed high stand, does not go the distance. He missed Demopoulos wins by submission. That's 1.5 units. He's already up. I mean, plus 1,400, a full unit on plus 1,400. This kid was absolutely on fire. Then Giga Chikadze wins in the 3rd round, plus 1,600. Only a half a unit, but he smacked that one too. Do the math for me, guys. Do the math for me because it is unreasonable how much money he won last night. Missed high stand, and he hit the Abdul Al-Hassan wins inside the distance decision, no action. Missed Turman wins by submission. Do the math for me. Jacob is up an insane amount of money. I'm up as well. So let's take a look at mine. I had 2 units on Brian Battle. Hit that. Dana Rodriguez, 1 unit, hit that. Tyron Woodley, we'll find out tonight. I hit Gilmore Petrosky over 1.5 rounds, and I missed Alvi Turman under 2.5 rounds. So I only missed 1. I'm up as well. Jacob and I are up big money. wewantpicks.com/bets. You will get a promo match because it's football season. They are doing a $1,000 deposit match. If you deposit 100, they'll give you 100. You deposit 1,000, they will give you 1,000. You could like our picks, hate our picks, whatever. Go get the free 1,000. It's stupid not to do that. wewantpicks.com/bets. Let's talk about Monkey Knife Fight. Every week we do pretty well. Every week we're up some money. So these are mine. I have no idea what the hell Jacob did. We were too busy celebrating his insane betting wins. So let me walk you through how I did. I am up 1.5 units by the skin of my teeth. I barely pulled it out. And the only reason I did well is because the payouts are so good. If you can see, I lost 4, and one of them had 2 units on it, and I've only won 3. But luckily, the payouts are solid. Let me walk you through it. I did the Jacoby Stewart less, 2.5 times my money. I did the Tershos Chikadze rapid fire. Basically takes 2 random fighters from different fights, and all you got to do is pick who's going to do better. I hit that for 3 times my money. And then what saved me was Demopoulos, Lee, and Stewart, the less on all of them. That saved me. A unit for me, full transparency, is only $10 for Monkey Knife Fight. For bets, it's a whole different thing. For Monkey Knife Fight, it is only $10 because the payouts are so big. I play usually $100 a week, maybe 200. So I do 10 different lines, about $10 each. You can triple your money, quadruple your money, 2.5 times your money. So I'm up money every single week. Sometimes I'm up. Last week I was up almost $50. Sometimes I'm up way more. Sometimes this week only 1.5 units, $15. But I'm still up. So if we go to our misses, where I really screwed up is I got greedy. Knockout Kings every single week has been a guarantee. You pick 3 fighters, just one of them needs to get a knockout, and you get paid. Well, I got greedy, and I said, you know what? I'm going to play that 2 get knockouts. So I missed. I put 2 units on it, so I got extra greedy, and I missed that. So 2 units gone. The main event, I had the more, missed that. Lee Rodriguez, less. I missed that. So Lee was less, but Rodriguez was way more. And then Muradov Martinez, I did a rapid fire there. I missed that. So if we do the math, I lost 2 units on Knockout Kings and then 1 on the rest. That's down 5 units. But then I'm up 2.5, up 3, up 4. All worked itself out. wewantpicks.com/MKF. You will get a promo match there as well if you use code WWP. They'll instantly match your deposit up to $100. So throw in 100, they'll give you a free 100. Throw in 50, they'll give you a free 50. Use the free money. Play these lines. We're here every single week giving you picks. Let's talk about DraftKings. We had okay lineups. Nothing amazing. But every week I tell you, 50-50s and double ups. That's how you make your money. You want to chase $100,000 tournament winnings? Go for it. But the odds of that happening are very, very slim. But 50-50s and double ups, I won money in all of mine. I saw a few of you commented that you missed the big tournaments. You won in 50-50s and double ups. So my lineup, 446 points. I had 2 duds. Muradov, the dud of the night. We'll break down the fights in a minute, but he was absolutely a parlay buster. I'm sure he screwed a bunch of people's lineups, not just mine. Only a handful of points. And then obviously Barboza. I thought that was going to be a war. He did not score a lot of points at all, but the rest of them scored 100 for the most part. Jacoby was like 97. Everybody else did over 100. So a ton of points for my guys who won, and my guys who lost big, but almost 450 points in a lineup, 50-50s and double ups. You will take home money every single time with that kind of lineup. Jacob, 429, not far behind me, and same exact thing, 50-50s and double ups. You will take home money every single time if you're over the mid 4s or 400s. wewantpicks.com/DraftKings. We give away money to the winner of our free league every single week. So join the league. It costs you nothing, and we give you money if you win the league. Let's talk about some fights. Mana Martinez versus Guido Cannetti. Mana Martinez was supposed to win by knockout. That is what was supposed to happen. But his coach died like 10 days ago or something like that. So I backed off a little bit because, his coach died. And I didn't know how that was going to affect him. And clearly it did. First round, he basically did nothing. Looked very flat. Next 2 rounds, he started to pour it on, and you could see how good he actually is. And you could see how good his striking is when he's using it, when he's on point, when the volume's there. So Mana Martinez has some legit abilities. He's good. We didn't get the knockout that we were expecting, but, I pulled away from him. I took him out of my DraftKings lineup. Your coach dying, and then he missed weight. And there's a lot going on in that guy's life right now. So he looked good when he looked good. So it took him a little while to get going, but once he got going, he looked very good. So I'm curious to see his next fight, full camp, hopefully no drama. We'll see what he looks like then. Pat Sabatini versus Jamal Emmers. Pat Sabatini was Jacob's lock of the week. He was a decent underdog here. Wasn't a tremendous underdog, but wasn't even money either. So he was a mid-size underdog here. Jacob was all over him. If you watch the betting portion of this video, Jacob is up. He got plus 1,600 on a first round or 1,400 on a first round submission, plus 325 on an inside the distance, plus 125 on the money line. So Jacob made a fortune on Pat Sabatini. And boy, was it dicey. Pat Sabatini got dropped big time. And I texted Jacob, LOL, there goes your lock of the week, dummy. They start scrambling on the ground. Pat Sabatini scoops up a heel hook. Jamal Emmers has a freaking toe hold, which is stupid. They hurt, but you're not going to submit to a toe hold, and it's not going to break anything. Heel hook will break something, and he blew out Jamal Emmers' knee. Pat Sabatini recovers from getting dropped, pulls off a nasty heel hook to basically shred Jamal Emmers' knee. Pat Sabatini, we've been high on him in the past. I picked against him this week. I agreed with Jacob that he was super live, but just, Jamal Emmers, division, 1 or 2 wrestler, and Pat Sabatini needed to get this to the ground to win. Little did I know that he would get it to the ground by getting dropped and scramble from there. Either way, awesome win for Jacob. He is now on a big-time 2 lock of the week win streak, and he's up. And he's up enough money to cover every loss he's ever had in the last 25 years. So Pat Sabatini looked great. Looking forward to his next fight. Dustin Jacoby versus Darren Stewart. I was all over Dustin. So was Jacob. I had Dustin in my lineup. I had Dustin everywhere. All over Dustin. He looked fantastic. He got taken down, scrambled back up, then defended a couple takedowns, let his hands fly, and he absolutely poured it on Darren Stewart for the win. Dustin Jacoby was one of those guys we talked about it, right? Professional kickboxer, but a true mixed martial artist. He can wrestle. We watched him wrestle. He got taken down, it was almost nice to see him get taken down the way he was and see how he worked out of those situations, see how he worked up to his feet, because it was not looking good for a little while. He stayed calm, he positioned, he worked his way back up, and then he went to work when he was on his feet and absolutely hammered Darren Stewart. So Dustin Jacoby, what is this, 6 wins in the UFC, no losses right now since he went to kickboxing, came back? Correct me if I'm wrong on that stat, but Dustin Jacoby quickly becoming a guy in that division. So I'm definitely looking forward to his next fight too. Wellington Turman versus Sam Alvey. Kind of a sloppy fight. Wellington Turman, 2 eye pokes. Actually, more than 2 eye pokes, but 2-point deduction. 2-point deduction. Sam Alvey looked good when he looked good. He's just so tentative. When he threw, he landed with some power, and I was getting worried for Wellington. I picked Wellington to win. Mentioned Sam Alvey was live for a knockout because he always is. He's got stupid power, and he's always in a fight. Where I messed up is I did not think this fight would go to the distance. I actually bet under 2.5 rounds. I thought Wellington would either submit Sam or Sam would knock out Wellington, and we were probably closer to Wellington getting knocked out than we were Sam submitted. But interesting fight. Let's take a look at the scorecard because it was pretty controversial. So Wellington Turman had 2 points deducted. If you look at the scorecard, basically, 2 of the 3 judges, the first 2 judges here, Derek Cleary and Ron McCarthy, had all 3 rounds for Wellington. If you look at the 3rd round, it's a 10 crossed off and then an 8 because they had to deduct 2 full points. So it was 28 points. He won a fight 28-27, which is insane. And then Sam Alvey lost his mind, screaming, yelling, "You guys robbed me." I don't think it was a robbery. That first round was close. If anything, if I'm a judge, I think this is a draw because that first round was super close. You could have given it to Sam. Wellington definitely won those next 2 rounds. You minus a couple of points there. So pretty interesting. One judge gave the 3rd round to Sam Alvey, so Wellington only scored 7 points in that round. And obviously Sam Alvey won that fight on his scorecard. So interesting scorecard. Sam Alvey was pissed. But let me know how you scored it. I'm very curious what most people thought about that because, you don't see 2 points deducted very often, let alone that fighter win what was kind of a close fight leading up to that. So I could definitely understand Sam Alvey's frustration, but we'll see what happens. Wellington Turman, we'll see. We'll see what happens with his next fight. I imagine Sam Alvey's cut. I mean, it's like 29 losses in a row. Wellington Turman was a big prospect, lost a few fights. Back on the winning track here. Didn't need his jiu-jitsu to do it. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully his chin starts to shore up. Abdul Razak Hassan versus Alessio Di Chirico. So I had Di Chirico. I made my pick. I said, my pick's Di Chirico. It's going to be a close fight. He's got the higher volume. Al Hassan either knocks you out in the first round or has nothing. But I put Razak Al Hassan in my DraftKings lineup because at that price point, he is live for a first-round knockout. He had, going into this fight, 10 wins. All 10 wins by first-round knockout. All 10. And now he has 11 wins by first-round knockout. So for DraftKings, he scored me 100 million points. Jacob bet the Al Hassan wins by stoppage, but if there's a decision, no action. What that means is if Abdul Razak Al Hassan won by stoppage, Jacob got paid. If he lost a decision, he gets a refund. Even money, no skin off his back, because when he loses, he tends to lose decisions, right? He doesn't really get stopped. So great bet by Jacob. Didn't even need the insurance there because Razak Al Hassan with the big-time knockout early on. You're only going to find those bets at wewantpicks.com/bets. Mahmoud Muradov versus Gerald Meerschaert. Boy, was this one surprising. We all got this wrong. I imagine most people got this wrong outside of the Meerschaert family. And here is the read on the fight. Meerschaert has no chin and no takedowns. Phenomenal on the mat. If it hits the mat, Muradov might be in some trouble. He's capable, though, but might be in some trouble if it hits the mat. But Meerschaert has no takedown, so how's he going to get it there? Well, turns out he got it there. Couple scrambles, weird situations. Meerschaert was throwing big, heavy, weird kicks and punches, and it just seemed to frustrate Muradov. They got it to the ground, and Meerschaert just, that was it. Submitted him from there. Muradov has stupid power, crisp boxing, didn't really get to hit a rhythm. But I will say he tested Meerschaert's chin a few times, which in the past did not hold up. And all of a sudden it held up in this fight. So I'm sure a bunch of you had Muradov in parlays and bets, and that was a buster. I don't usually bet on favorites that are that big. There's just not enough upside. I mean, he was a minus 700 favorite or something. There's just not enough upside to bet on that big of a favorite, unless it's Amanda Nunes and you're positive. But I did have him in my Knockout Kings and Monkey Knife fight, which didn't come through. But hopefully you guys weren't all depending on him to make some money last night, because he screwed a bunch of people if you were. Kevin Lee versus Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel Rodriguez was my pick. I picked him. A lot of you were high on him, so I'm not going to stand on a mountain and pretend I'm the only person that picked the underdog here. But Daniel Rodriguez, that was the read, right? Is that his volume is good, Kevin Lee's knees are bad, and his cardio is bad. I will say it was the first round. I was like, oh, man. Kevin Lee had a beautiful takedown, had nice control. But then Daniel Rodriguez started to get comfortable with the striking, started to touch up Kevin Lee, started to beat him up. Then he started to defend some takedowns, and he absolutely cruised through those last two rounds. Daniel Rodriguez looks good, man. What is he, like 13-2 now? This was a decent win. I mean, Kevin Lee was coming up in weight. His knees are busted, but he brought the fight to Daniel Rodriguez. You got to give him some credit for that. So I do think a good grappler with decent cardio, Daniel Rodriguez has no chance. He does get taken down pretty easily. He defended a few takedowns, but it was only because Kevin Lee was tired. So we'll see what Daniel Rodriguez's next matchup is, but if he's got a grappler with decent cardio, it's going to be a long night for him. Ricky Tercios versus Brady Highstand. This was an awesome fight. An awesome fight. And if you care about grappling only, the judges had me worried in this fight, because if you only care about grappling, Brady Highstand won this fight. He had a bunch of takedowns, some control, but he didn't do anything with it. He inflicted like no damage whatsoever. Yes, he had takedowns, but that was it. Where Ricky Tercios doing all the crazy, wild, fun stuff, absolutely lighting up Brady's face anytime he touched him. Awesome scrambles. I mean, this fight was a ton of fun to watch, and I am so glad Ricky won the contract, because if Brady won that contract, he would lose his next few fights and be cut from the UFC. He is not UFC caliber. He has good wrestling. When he mixed it up striking, he did land, but he was just outclassed everywhere. Even on the ground, he was outclassed. When he was not just trying to control, he was outclassed. So I'm so glad the judges got this one right. Ricky Tercios, I'm really looking forward to his next fight. That dude is fun. Fun. He is like Clay Guida 2.0. Bouncing like crazy, moving like crazy, throwing all sorts of wild stuff. I absolutely loved watching him. I'm so glad the judges got that right. I had 2 units on Brian Battle to beat Gilbert Urbina. 2 full units. And I never do that. I'm such a conservative guy when it comes to bets, which is why I usually make money, right? Because I'm not chasing these flyers. Jacob made $1 million this week, but he chases flyers. I don't. Brian Battle was a minus 160 favorite. I put 2 units on it. Boy, did it not look good in the first round. He did not look good in the first round. And then pulled himself out of that hole, got the submission win. And Brian Battle was the better fighter and should have won. But honestly, if Gilbert Urbina had a full camp and was in more than 10 days shape, he might have won that fight. So thank God that matchup worked out the way it did. Brian Battle won me some money. I had 2 units on him. And the main event of the evening, we have Edson Barboza versus Giga Chikadze. It was a good fight till it wasn't. I thought Edson Barboza looked decent in the first round, decent in the second round, actually pretty good in the second round. And the third round, Giga just poured it on. His power was very, very obvious. So Giga Chikadze is the real deal. This was his biggest test. I mean, you got to be talking about him in title contention at this point. He looked fantastic. Edson Barboza also looked good until he didn't. Jacob had Giga. I had Edson. I thought this was going to be a really close fight. It was until it wasn't. So Giga Chikadze, the real deal. Let's see what happens to him, what he looks like in his next fight, what they give him. I mean, he's ready for a big time, maybe even a title shot. I mean, that was a big big win. Putting Edson Barboza away with strikes the way he did, that's a big win. So I great fight. Loved watching it. And I'm very curious to see what happens to both of these guys next. Let's see who won our free DraftKings League. If you don't know, we have a free DraftKings League. Costs you nothing to join a league. Costs you nothing to play in the contest. And if you win, we send you money. 7 David 13, I owe you money. I owe you $15 if you're a subscriber. But if you're a member, which means you click the join button, I owe you $30. So reach out and we'll get you paid. I have this league set up. There's how many of you are in here? It doesn't say. It's like 180 people or something like that in this league. We do a free contest every single week, and we pay the winner out of our own pocket because we're honestly just trying to grow the channel. It's that simple. But what we did this week is we opened it up to allow you guys to make contests as well. Some of you were asking, hey, I'd like to play for a couple of bucks, right? Other people want to play for more money. So we will have one official contest, which is the big free one where we will pay you money if you win. Then if you guys want to create contests, compete against each other for some money, you are welcome to do that as well. So going forward, you can do that. Only the official one will I pay you on. So let's take a look. 7 David 13, 587 points. You went 6-0. Basically scored 100 points in every single fight, except Manny Martinez at only 75. Honestly, Manny was supposed to score way more than that. So this would have been an absolute savage lineup. Giga Chikadze at 92. Razak Al Hassan at 125. He got that 25-point early stoppage bonus. Brian Battle 97. Petrosky 106. Sabatini, Jacobs lock of the week at 90. And then Manny Martinez at 75. This is a phenomenal lineup. You want your money? wewantpicks.com. At the bottom, there's a contact us. Reach out to me. Let me know how you want to get paid. We'll get you paid. If you're not a member, become a freaking member, please. Let's take a look at second place. X Kilo XL. You also went 6-0. But looks like Daniel Rodriguez was the difference here. Because actually, Ricky Tercio scored a ton of points. I mean, you only lost by 17 points. It's probably Daniel Rodriguez scoring 87. Mike Hunt. 5-1 with Brady. Man, Brady scored 78 points in a loss. So if he won, there'd be 30 more points. It would have been 108. You had a nice lineup as well. JJ Aldrich, 85. Pat Sabatini, lock of the week, and Manny Martinez. You guys are killing it, man. These lineups are fan-freaking-tastic. 5-1 for fourth place, 527 points. And Edson Barboza screwed you with only 13. He screwed me too. I won money in all my double-ups, but I never would have taken home money in a big league. Guys, thanks for watching. Share this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We are doing God's work every single week, breaking down fights, giving you picks. This week is a high amongst all highs. We are up insane money. Insane money. Like the video, subscribe, become a member. You want to donate to thank us for all the money you're winning? In the description, there is a link to donate money. You can Venmo. You can go to the tip page. Whatever you want to do. Thank you all very much for the support. We'll see you next week.